choose from. We have the Badass Tarot deck. We have the Light Seers Tarot deck and the Muse. So 1, 2, or 3, your choice. Okay, so these are just going to be general messages. If you picked pile 1, the Badass Tarot, we are just going to dive in and see what we're going to talk about. I don't have a method here to my madness. We're just going to dive right in. So let's see what the situation is. Whoa, 3 pop out right away. Not doing reversals today. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's some sort of, with a Hierophant, right? This can mean a couple different things. We can have, and it'll mean different things for different people, since different people are watching this. Scenario 1, the Hierophant talks about marriage, high levels of commitment, okay? Scenario 2, the Hierophant talks about learning lessons, teacher, right? Things that you can learn from a teacher. And scenario 3, well, now I've lost count, would be like a government agency, I would say. I feel like that's going to be a smaller number. I think we're looking at either, this is going to be focused on love, marriage for some of you, and for others, this is a teacher lesson kind of learning situation. Okay, and then we have 2 sevens, 7 of Swords and 7 of Wands. Okay, 7s are all about assessment, okay, looking at our options, kind of picking and choosing, right, seeing what's up. 7 of Swords really does talk about deception. You can even see in this picture here, right, we got the barcode on the forehead, right? It reminds me of something my friend says, where people are numbers in certain scenarios, okay? So the person holding the scanner here, I suppose, is the deceiver, right? But these people are, in this scenario, happily deceived, it appears, right? They're smiling, but their eyes are closed, okay? So they're being deceived in some sort of way. And then the 7 of Wands, this is often about being guarded, right? Protecting our energy, being prepared for battle, okay? The other thing to note in this particular deck, right, we have caution, warning kind of signs here. 4 of them, exclamation points. Okay, so this is more of a message of protecting oneself, I would say, over some sort of deception in a situation. So let's find out more about this, okay? 8 of Pentacles. This could be work-related. Okay, there's something working. Oh, boy. I want to know what the, okay. We're working here on trying to have a new beginning, okay? And look at that, 3rd 7. 7 of Cups, making the right choice. So in this scenario, what we're doing is we're putting in some work here, okay? Working towards putting an end to things, death, ending something so we can move forward. She's drinking poison here, though, right? So we want to make sure that we're careful. We're being real careful with what we're drinking. It's interesting for death to be described in this way because death is really about rebirth, transformation. So, I mean, one thing that could come to mind, you know, they say, they talk about anger, right? And drinking poison, thinking somebody else is going to get hurt, so to speak. So watching where our anger is, working on that. And then the 7 of Cups, a couple things here, ensuring that... You know, the visuals really just change the meaning all the time, so we'll talk about that too. But the 7 of Cups is really about making the right choice, okay? Wanting to make the right choice, seeing through illusions, okay? Not everything that is all rainbows and hearts is all rainbows and hearts, okay? This is Pegasus here, which is I think a fictitious flying unicorn. And for me personally, that is, my grandpa used to tell me a story about Pegasus, right? So that adds another layer of meaning for this reading in particular, right? What are the stories that you're being told, okay? Is somebody all rainbows here? What is the illusion? It's more about illusion. Okay, so to recap, right? Marriage or teacher, some level of commitment. There's deception, okay, and caution here. Warning signals. And working towards putting an end to something, okay, and making the right choice. Possibly even seeing something differently. So I want to see what the challenge is here in the scenario. And 3 7s. I mean, that does feel lucky, but it's more about assessment. Okay, the challenge is the King of Pentacles. Tell me why that's a challenge, please. This deck is really different. 4 of Cups and 10 of Swords. King of Pentacles, this can be about money, okay, or stability, either way. Someone who feels like they have a lot of stability here. In this particular deck, she's clinging to the stability. She's clinging to money, okay, in some sort of sense. And there's like a lot of disappointment here. Possibly even not seeing something. I mean, in this visual, sorry, it's a little intense, but she's kind of passed out, right? Passed out drunk here. This could even be like being drunk on this stability in a sense, right? Maybe it's a false stability because you see here the visual, right? Kind of this younger woman with this older man. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think what it's depicting is fairly obvious, okay? And then the 10 of Swords. This is another part of the challenge is there's a painful ending here, okay? It's interesting that they're choosing love arrows here because even though it's being shot out as love, look at this lady's face, right? And the 10 of Swords is betrayal. Painful endings, being backstabbed. Okay, but it's interesting that it's all arrows of love. All right. Let's look at what's unknown in the situation here. What is unknown to the viewer, please? Well, that's a lot. Knowledge is power, right? All right, what is unknown? That was like half the deck, so we're going to try again. What is unknown? Oh, a lot again. Let's see if I should take these. Okay, we're going to take them all. And Five of Swords. So what's unknown, right? There's some insecurity, a lot of insecurity going on here, and an inability to kind of lay this foundation, right? The Tower is typically not a positive, but interesting. It's Tetris, and they've done pretty bad, right? They're not stacking the pieces in their favor, okay? And it has literally caused the game to be over. Oh, that's interesting. Normal or traditional meanings, right? This is a lot of insecurity, and this is things blowing up. So some insecurity is causing something to really blow up and be destructive, right? Chaotic. Someone speaking their truth, or just being very logical, being in their head. This can be an air sign. Queen of Swords. There is divine protection here, right? Balance. This is Sagittarius energy, Temperance. So there is divine protection here. If you are being, kind of in this game over, right? The chips have not landed correctly. So this is kind of what's unknown here. You have the protection. There is some sort of karma in the situation, kind of a balance, equal give and take, kind of this boomerang, sort of like the energy that you give out will come back. And then the Six of Swords, which is really moving to a better place. So, but look, there's an explosion there too. They're moving. Okay, so we're just going to kind of review those as the unknowns in the scenario. Yeah, something's ending because things weren't done right. Okay, it might have been too logical, or after the fact, we're really thinking heavily about this. Okay, there is protection though, and karma kind of coming back to this, and then we will be moving into a better, calmer place. Okay, moving away from this destructive energy. I mean, to me, this looks more like the Tower, that explosion in the back. 2 sixes. Sixes are about healing. Okay, so yeah. I don't know why this isn't known, the game over piece in the Tower. What we don't know about that. Maybe we should find out. Tell me about that. 203, Page of Cups. If we're in a love reading here, or this is love, this talks about an apology coming in. So somebody may be apologizing for not doing something in the right way. And maybe you don't see that apology coming. All right. Oops. Okay, let's see what we for sure do know about the situation. What's known? King of Wands. What's he doing? What's he up to? Okay. So what we do know is that we're in our own power, right? We have our power. We're kind of waiting, watching, gathering some information as we kind of decide teamwork here. That's interesting because the Page of Swords is really about like this watchful kind of energy, right? You see she has the binoculars. Page of Swords is, sometimes I call it a Facebook stalker, but they're definitely watching, waiting for something, trying to gather some more information. They might even have a little bit of trepidation or nervousness doing that, okay? And then the Three of Pentacles is really about teamwork, collaboration, but it's interesting because look at all the eyes. All the eyes are on this woman here in the blue. Sorry, I needed to see it closer. Kind of all in this woman in blue. She kind of has clouds on her dress here, but there's all these eyes on her, right? And then 2 other women here in the background just kind of watching her. So someone's being watched, right? I would definitely say that. And it's kind of like this theory or this thing of, are we going to work together? Is there going to be some sort of teamwork here? So that this is the awareness, right? That we are kind of sitting here in our power. Interesting visual for this, but watching what's going to happen. Three of Pentacles is about groups coming together, working. Sometimes it can be about, similar to the Hierophant, it can be about like agencies or religious kind of groups or things like this. So we got the situation, what's unknown, what's known, the challenge. Let's do some advice here. What's the advice for the viewer? Advice, please. Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. That's funny. So the Ace of Pentacles is about a new beginning, right? Having a new opportunity, something new, grounded, stable. One quick sec. Oh, he has money in his hand. I was like, what is he holding in his hand? So a lot of times with the Ace of Pentacles, right, this can be about a financial opportunity, a career opportunity, something like that. It can just be about another new opportunity. And it's funny because the new opportunity here, the rainbow is shooting out of, the headspace rather than the ASS and that Pegasus, right, that unicorn that was coming out the booty. Okay, so this can be a new opportunity for romance, right? Something romantic, right? Or it can be a new opportunity to come back with love. This person says, I'm back, bitches. But this is somebody who's just coming forward in their heart space, right? Their emotions are, I would say, they're not fully receptive or taking action with them, but they're aware of them, right? They're a little more emotional, perhaps. But it's a new opportunity to come in with emotion or come to something that you love. Okay. Just even returning to a space, right? Because this is like outer space. So that's advice to embrace this new opportunity. Yeah, just having a new beginning, the Fool card. Okay, doing it carefree. Could even be the Knight of Cups, right? That meaning being carefree, kind of jumping in and moving forward. So that is that. I'm going to pull one of these cards. What are they called? Soul Truth, Self-Awareness cards. So one for pile one, please. Oh, snake. I still say snaky pulls, so whatever. Here we go. Yeah, this is perfect. What am I looking outside myself? What am I looking for outside myself that is already within me? Are you looking for more guidance, confidence, peace, wisdom, love, or something else? When we search outside ourselves, we can become overwhelmed, frustrated, and never feel quite good enough. It's time to go inward to find everything you seek. All the answers you need lie within you. Okay, and this is actually interesting. This is something I've kind of been wanting to talk about a little bit. It's about the external validation, right? And kind of, there's nothing wrong with external validation except for when we rely on it too much, and we become dependent on it, and we disempower ourselves, and we don't seek our own internal validation. So today's soul action: breathe in your favorite essential oil, inhale deeply into your belly, drop your shoulders, and spend some time hanging out with your soul today. Ask for what you need and be ready for the answers. Whew. All right. Have a great day, guys. Thanks. Bye. All right, so if you pick the light series deck, we're just going to go ahead and get started. This is a general message. I'm just open to seeing whatever comes out, comes out. So we will just kind of start with a situation and go from there. So what is the situation here for pile 2? Okay, something about work, right? This can be work. It can be soul purpose, something that you're working hard at, or you're a student. Okay. Four of Swords is about taking a break, right? It's taking a step back, possibly even working on one's health, okay, so that you can be in a better place. Yeah, that feels pretty right here. I would say I have a couple of messages or a couple scenarios here kind of coming out. One would be taking a break from working too hard, okay, so that you can actually have success, right? Sometimes if we can take a step back from the amount of work we're putting in and actually give ourselves that self-care, we'll have more success at the end, right? Because we're not going to be as burnt out, okay? The other thing that I see is there's a need sort of to work on one's health, right? Because you may not be feeling the greatest with the Four of Swords cards. Can talk about illness, different things like that. And then I feel like if you were to work on your health, you would feel better about the way you're seen in the world. Not that, and it's not so much because we should be in a place where we're caring how other people see us, right? It's more about our own sense of self that we're presenting to the world, right? When we feel good about ourselves, that's obviously what's most important, but we feel good then about the way that other people see us. We're not kind of having that worry, okay? So a couple of those. So, yeah. Okay, now you're showing kind of, it's the Knight of Wands here. This landed right on the work card. So if we're talking about work, sorry, I got cut off because my alarm went off, but I ended it. So the Knight of Wands popped out here. So this is how you're showing up as the Knight of Wands. That landed right on the Eight of Pentacles. So it really ties in pretty clearly for both messages. If we're looking at work, right, what it's really indicating here by being on this work card, whether you're needing to take up some self-care or there's something that you're working on physically, right, this is about getting burnt out, the Knight of Wands. So when we look at needing to take a break from the hard work that we're putting in, it's because the Knight of Wands moves really quickly, okay? And when we move too quick and too passionately, right, we can get burnt out easily, okay? So if we're trying to, run a marathon or for some of us less marathon-y people, a 5K or something, right, we're not going to start out sprinting, okay, because we know what's going to happen. If you sprint, you're not going to have the stamina to keep up, and this is kind of what the Knight of Wands does, okay? So in the work scenario, this is about being burnt out, and this is why we need this break, okay, so that we can have that success. Now, if we're looking at health, I got to think about that for a minute. Working on our health. Then it's important that we're not working on our health in a way of like self-punishment, right? I have to do this because I have to be this certain way, and I have to quit smoking because of this, right? It has to be a want, it has to be a desire, it has to be a motivation, okay? And possibly even, so if you're struggling in those areas, right, getting to the root cause of like what's going to motivate me to go forward, why am I desiring this? Even like if we're looking at exercise, what am I passionate about, okay? So if like running is going to make me like dread getting up every day, then let's not run, right? Let's dance or do something like this, okay? So finding that something that we're passionate about. So let's see what the challenge is here. What's the challenge? What's the challenge for pile 2, please? Sorry, 4 cards pop out. Okay, what's the challenge? Okay, so we have another 6 here, the 6 of Swords. The challenge is kind of knowing how to move forward, how to prepare for this change. 7 of Wands a lot of time talks about like guarding our energy or protecting ourselves. In this scenario, it's kind of like, how can I move forward and be prepared? So in this deck, actually, in particular, 7 of Wands is more about like preparing for battle, right? So she's wanting to move forward, but we got to prepare first, okay? And that's kind of the challenge for you. It could be that you don't know where to start or how exactly to prepare. So let's get some advice on that. Yeah. 1, being kind to yourself, right? Knowing your worth, knowing that regardless of how you're moving forward, you have worth and value, okay? Knowing that you're good how you are, okay? Whether that's your career, your relationship status, your house status, your body size, your hair color, whatever. Loving and accepting yourself before you can kind of make these changes, right? When we're kind to ourselves and we're loving to ourselves and we're not punishing ourselves to kind of get something done, it's so much easier. We have to support ourselves, right? If you wouldn't, like a lot of times, a lot of times we use children as an example, like how would you encourage your child, but I think too, like another way would be like your friend, would you talk to your friend like that if she was, trying to work on self-improvement or needed to take some time for herself? Would you tell her she's lazy? Would you tell her, she can't take time for herself, she needs to hustle? You wouldn't, right? How would you support another person? And then trying to support ourselves that same way. What are some next best? Okay. So yeah, being logical here, being brave, kind of thinking about that, okay? Thinking, how do I prepare for success? How do I prepare for where I want to be? Okay. What's the next best steps here? So really sitting back and thinking, kind of. You may even want to like meditate, kind of to get some ideas here. Okay, I'm real tired of cards falling on the floor. Next best steps, okay. Yeah, you have the Three of Wands, okay, which is a lot of time about taking a pause, okay, which is interesting. So I'm going to think about this for a minute because the Three of Wands is taking a pause, and then the Wheel of Fortune is moving things forward. So sometimes the Three of Wands can be that you're waiting for things to happen for you, right? You're waiting for your ships to come in. You're waiting for the right timing, which could be true. You could need to wait for the right timing, perhaps, especially if it's like work or taking a break. Maybe that's something that you have to wait for because of your workload or because of like vacation time or something like that. If there's something physical, you know, that you're trying to work on your body, maybe you have to wait for the right timing because maybe you need to kind of consult with a doctor or, you know, nutritionist or physical therapist or something like that, depending on what your different needs are. I'm going to look at the Three of Wands. Wow. Unreal. Three of Wands also could be about expanding, like expanding your horizons, expanding your desire, expanding your passion in some sort of way, growing something, growing desire, growing passion, growing motivation. I'm going to pull a clarifier for that. Tell me about the Three of Wands. Let me just turn this over here. So maybe something kind of in the horizon that you have some fears about, right? Something that you feel like you'll carry with you, something toxic, something that you're replaying kind of in your mind, or some sort of holding on to something, okay? Because I'm kind of getting like a hoarding vibe with this. And I don't really know how that ties in exactly, but it's also, we can see here, she has the three of Wands, right? And this lady's leaving the Three of Wands. So it could be like, you know, you're in a pause and now you're moving forward, but you're carrying some stuff with you, okay? So we need to kind of assess what we're carrying with us, right? Because it's toxic, okay? So it could be saying that, you know, we're assessing this, we're expanding some sort of motivation, expanding our desires, but we kind of got to move forward from that space of expansiveness, okay? We can wait and wait and wait, but until we actually move forward, we're not going to get anywhere. But then we also have to think about what are we moving forward with? What are we bringing with us, okay? And is it good for us, right? Is it controlling us, okay? Is it something that we're afraid of? So kind of, I guess, what fears are holding you back from making this change? Okay, from moving forward so that you can have success. What's the outcome here if this person can move forward and take those next steps to kind of work on themselves or take that break that they need? The outcome, yeah. Creating the life, right? Creating some new desires, some new passions here. Celebrating. You're taking action on something that you love. You're having fun. Celebrating with friends. Okay, and this, the Hermit landed on the floor, so it's like overcoming that loneliness, right? You're not isolated anymore. You have this group, you have this friends. Yeah, so you're creating something you're passionate about. Now, again, this can be work. This can be a passion project. This can be your physical health, okay? So you're taking control here. You're moving forward. You're making the things happen. With the Ace of Wands, too, something you're passionate about. Right now, you have this motivation. You have this fresh start, and it's gonna be something to celebrate. This could even be related to women's health in some sort of way, okay? So for what that's worth. Okay, and then we'll just pull one of these oracle cards. These are called the Soul Truth. That's where these other ones that came out. I'm going to take this one. It says, what can I burn? And because we have all this fire and this wands energy, I did feel called to take it. It says, burn it all. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism. The images that run through your head, the reminders of what you did wrong, and the proof that you are not enough. Burn, baby, burn. Your soul is calling. It's time for rebirth. You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes, no longer attached to the past. You are free. Your wings are ready. Use them. Today's soul action. Make the choice that you will no longer let the past define you. Pick up your pen. What will your next chapter look like? Okay, perfect. Sometimes I think I should just pull the oracle cards first. So that's kind of what the devil does, right? The devil has a fear of the past. Okay, it's that toxic energy. Just what they said here. The ugly lies, the pain, the shame, the criticism, right? Those images that run through our head. That's what's being carried with us. Okay. And then what will the next chapter look like, right? If you can overcome this, then you can create that future where you're happy, where you're passionate, where you have a new beginning, okay? Let's throw that up there if you want to screenshot it. Okay, what can I burn? All right, thanks. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, send me a message, hit me up, whatever. Hey, Pile 3. So if you chose the Muse Tarot deck, then this message is for you. So what I've been doing is just general messages. So we will just kind of pull some cards and see what comes out. All right, so we'll just kind of start with the situation. What are we going to talk about today? Ugh. Okay. We have the 10 of Voices and the 7 of Voices. Voices in this deck are swords. So we're talking about some sort of painful ending in which you were deceived, okay, where there was deception, betrayal. Okay, so that's pretty cut and dry with these cards. Okay, so tell me more about this. Let's see. We have the Ace of Materials. Okay, so this could be a new opportunity. Hold on a sec. Whatever this is, right, it's saying it's okay, right, because there is a new opportunity coming for you. Let's see what the challenge is here. What's the challenge? All right, 3 cards. Yeah. Okay. So with this scenario, right, the challenge here is now you feel like you're left out in some sort of sense, okay? You're left out in the cold. You're not in. You have a sense of lack, right? You're lacking something. 5 of Materials can also talk about poverty, okay? For me, it's more of a lack mindset. It's also being like kicked out of something too, you know, being like left out in the cold. The moon is fear. This could have even been something that happened during this recent moon, okay, where you feel like now you're not a part of something. You were put out, okay? So there's a lot of fear here, things that are under the surface, okay? And challenge with the Knight of Voices. Could be about speaking your truth, right? It could be about also like things moving forward quickly, like they're not, you want them to be fast, okay? And that's a challenge for you. It could be a challenge for you to speak about the way that you feel about what has transpired. We have the Hierophant, the 6 of Voices, and the 9 of Emotions, right? Okay. So there's a lesson here, right? Something to be recognized. The Hierophant can talk about teachers, lessons, learning something, like kind of like life lessons or soul lessons, right? It can also talk about marriage. Okay, so we're moving away from this, whatever this lesson is, or this commitment, something like that, moving into a better place. Okay, and we are protected here, right? It's sort of like the Fool in this deck, right? This person is moving forward. They're going to kind of leap. What they're leaping towards is the thing that really emotionally fulfill them. So it's leaving something behind, though, okay? Remaining hopeful, having that connection. There's also a need for authenticity here with the Star. Okay, having a connection to Source, your spirit guides, whoever. Prayers being answered, right? Yeah, something that really sparks your passion here with the Star. You're hoping that that will come through. So you can kind of have a beginning where your emotions are fulfilled again with this nine of emotions. Okay, it's like a new beginning here for you. Something to spark. There's something that you're hoping for. Something has sparked some inspiration here. Okay, I just kind of want to recap. So we're talking about some sort of painful ending in which you were deceived, right? There's a new opportunity. It's hard because you kind of are in this place where you feel like you don't have anything. You're left out. You're afraid of what's happened, right? There's a lot of fears under the surface, and you kind of want to move things along here quickly. But you're guided to kind of remain hopeful. Okay. Stay in contact with your spirit guides, you know, pray, because your prayers will be answered here. You're praying to move towards a better place, to have a new start, where you have everything that you want. Your wishes have been granted in this sense, okay? And then it is a new start, okay? It's a new start for you, something that you're emotionally okay with, right? Something that kind of lights your heart up and sparks your passion here with the Knight of Inspiration. I might have done that wrong, sorry, but whatever. Moving away from some sort of lesson, right? It's after a lesson has occurred, or some sort of commitment has occurred, okay? All right. Oops. There's been patience, okay? Like deciding, like, do I want to put my energy into this? Do I want to invest in this anymore? Okay. Like you've planted the seed, you've seen how it's grown, and now you're kind of assessing, you know, do I want to continue watering this plant? Do I want to keep helping this grow? Do I want to keep investing in this? And let's see what you're deciding. You want to be successful, okay? There's sometimes the 6 of Inspiration can be celebrity, right? Status, being victorious in a situation, being a star. But then you have a 7 on the other side of that 7 of Inspiration, which is really about guarding our energy and protecting our energy. Here it's like breaking something open, okay? Breaking something open, star and star. So do I want to invest in this? Is this going to get me where I want? Is there some sort of, you know, something being seen, being a star in a situation, breaking something open, protecting myself? Trying to get clarity in a situation, right? Kind of breaking things open so you can have some clarity. You can use that wisdom here. And what's next, please? Yeah, really ending up having clarity and seeing something differently, right? I'm seeing something from a new perspective. Something stable moving forward. The clarity helps you to see things differently, right? The truth helps you to see something differently, and you can kind of move forward in a little more stable way. Kind of now everything's falling into place, okay? This reading's a little different than the others. Oops. Okay, we have the 8 of Materials. This is like working on your happiness, okay? So all these things that have transpired, right, have kind of led us to a place where now we can work on happiness, okay? And it's inner happiness. She's meditating here. Her solar plexus is highlighted here, okay? So working on our own power center, working on our own happiness, okay? And she has a lot of things that bring her happiness, okay? Just because it is happiness, it doesn't have to be... sometimes we can do things, right, at a soul purpose level, and they don't have to be a job, kind of, you know, if it brings us happiness, it can be our purpose, right? Maybe you like to garden, right? And maybe it's just a hobby, right? That can bring you happiness. That can be part of purpose. Okay. Not every purpose has to be so, you know, monumental, right? Not everybody's going to be the president or, you know, or a leader or a teacher, whatever, you know, you think the ultimate career, let's say, is, right? Or purpose is. It doesn't always have to be that. Okay. There's something there about that. Side note. Okay. What advice for this pile, please? Three of emotions. Yeah. What is fun for you? What brings you happiness? Okay, how is that tied into soul purpose? How can we see that as soul purpose? Okay, rather than striving for things that maybe are not for us necessarily. And that's never to discourage somebody from pursuing things, right? Absolutely, whatever your heart calls you to do, you should do. But don't get too tied up in feeling like everything is about purpose or life path or things like this, right? Things can just be fun and things can just bring us happiness, okay? The wheel. Yeah, there's a lot of fortune here in this, like good fortune for you, something destined to happen here. There could be something that brings you a lot of money, okay, but it's a lot of fun too. What is that? There's something, a big shift, right? Something really changing, okay, possibly even with moon cycles here. A big shift. We have the moon phases here as well, and the moon phases here. Could be travel. There could be travel involved, or really just kind of making some plans. Okay, you might have to do some more research. That could be on the moon cycles. Kind of see like how those are affecting your personal astrology. Otherwise, this is just making plans. Okay, for your next move here. Being very logical about it. Okay, like what am I passionate about, but also having some logic here. Being brave. Really kind of relying on that power source to kind of make those plans so that you can move forward towards the things you love. Relying on your inner strength here. And letting go of what's weighing you down. Okay, you don't have to carry those preconceived notions with you anymore about what's fun, what your purpose is. Okay, good boss. Move it forward, right? It could be music. But we need to use, there's something with the logic too, the analytical mind. Working with others and creating something. Yeah, okay. I want to pull one of these for you. Just kind of final tie it together, usually is what happens. There could be too, you know, we had a couple threes come out in this mix of what you're doing. So there could be something that you could do that'd be fun with friends, right? Something that you would be in charge of in some sort of sense. Not in a misuse of power way, but, you know, you might be just the leader type, okay? So being with friends, doing something there, could possibly be doing ritual, moon ritual, something like that. It could just be getting some women together or getting some friends together, right? And creating something. Okay, creating something that is beneficial for you all. So we have two come out. So what is my body telling me right now? Our body speaks to us through physical pain or discomfort. Our body sends us messages. Sends messages for us to look more deeply. See the trapped emotions, the lurking fears and beliefs that limit you. Listen to your physical body and you will be led to the source of your pain. It's time to get your healing on. Today's soul action, get the book Heal Your Body by Louise Hay and find the answers toward which your body is guiding you. Okay. Okay, so that's for somebody. You can also kind of Google that, you know, like Louise Hay. A lot of articles will kind of have some of those messages, but definitely worth it to get the book too. And then we have, where am I called to use my voice right now? You have a soul script that was written to be spoken. Your story matters and it's time for you to share it with the world. Today's soul action. Share your story with at least one person today. Be brave and speak your truth. Your voice will be the catalyst for healing in others. Wow. Okay, and perhaps this is what this is, right? When we talk about soul purpose. Okay, maybe you're meant to share something. You know, the situation here, betrayal, painful endings, being deceived in some sort of way, okay? Sharing that voice. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Like, share, subscribe. I don't know yet where I'm posting this, so hopefully that still makes sense. And have a fabulous day.